Most billionaires spend their lives chasing more profit, more success, more power. But in 2022, Yvon Chouinard, the founder of Patagonia, did the exact opposite. He gave his company away. It wasn't to family, it wasn't to an investor, it wasn't to the highest bidder, but it was to a trust. And this trust's purpose was to fight climate change. So his act wasn't an act of charity, but it was an act of character. And in this lesson, we'll understand the reason behind this decision. Let's get into it. To understand this decision, we have to understand the man. He never wanted to become a businessman. He started out as a climber, as a craftsman. And in the 1950s, he forged his own metal spikes that are used in rock climbing because he couldn't find gear that was durable enough for granite walls. What began as a side hustle soon became Chouinard Equipment. And the business grew, it evolved, and it eventually turned into Patagonia, a brand that has now completely transformed the industry. The difference was that Patagonia wasn't shaped by principles that other corporations at the time valued. Right from the start, Chouinard put the environment first. He banned harmful materials, he pioneered organic cotton, and they dedicated a percentage of their sales to environmental causes. Even during their advertising campaigns, they ran ads that literally said, "Don't buy this jacket." And it was because they mattered more for the planet rather than unlimited fashion consumption. He wasn't playing the game of capitalism, he was bending the rules. Often he would be found living very simply, driving his Subaru, or even be in the mountains when there were important meetings in the boardrooms. And when Patagonia finally became a billion-dollar brand, Chouinard faced a choice. The first was to sell the company, add billions to his family's generational wealth. The second option was to keep the business in the company, allow his children, his family, his descendants to inherit this billion-dollar company. And the third choice was something a lot more radical. And this is what he chose. He transferred 100% of Patagonia's ownership to two entities: the Patagonia Purpose Trust, to ensure the company stays true to its values, and the Holdfast Collective, a non-profit organization that dedicate hundreds of millions to fighting climate change. And he cemented this decision in his own words when he said, "Earth is now our only stakeholder." This was more than a business decision, it was a moral one. It was a statement to the corporate world that integrity goes beyond what's said in a glossy report. It's actually what you do when you have the power to choose. So how does this relate back to the Stoics? Well, they had a word that summed up this perfectly, and it was sympatheia. It means recognizing that we are all part of one whole, that we are all interconnected, that what harms the hive harms the bee. Chouinard embodied this principle perfectly. He understood that having generational wealth wasn't just personal, but it was a responsibility. And his actions rippled outward to friends, to family, to his employees, and to those future generations. In an age where leaders endlessly talk about values but rarely sacrifice for them, Yvon Chouinard stands out. He proved that true success isn't measured by what you keep, but what you give back. And it reminds us very closely to something that Marcus Aurelius once wrote: "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." And that's the lesson for us in corporate life. Character isn't what you preach, but it's what you practice. So if a billionaire can give away his company for the sake of the world, then maybe we can all find a way to lead with a little more virtue, a little more responsibility, and a little more sympatheia. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.